Hi, I'm Zach. I play drums in Horcrux.
Hey, I'm Scott and I play guitar.
Hey, I'm Michael. I do vocals.
I'm Ryan. I play bass.
And I'm John and I play guitar.
So we've been a band since summer of 2016, so coming up on 4 years?
4 years.
4
Yeah.
years.
Almost on the day.
Math.
Yeah, so whenever I was a kid, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos of live concerts, and it kind of got me interested in music, and then I eventually got the game Rock Band, and I kind of liked playing the drums even though I was terrible at it, and then I moved on to buying an actual drum kit, and then from there met some people, played a concert, and then I was like fire in my pants, and I just wanted to play non-stop.
Yeah.
So I grew up in like a really musical household. My dad's has been a really successful guitar player throughout his life. So just growing up around it and seeing him play and things like that, I wanted to pick up guitar as well. So I started playing since I was 10 years old, and it's been nonstop ever since.
Awesome.
I actually started playing music because of Guitar Hero. Now, my brother had saved up his allowance for like 2 months and then bought it. And he's like, here, try to play it. Try one song. And then I played one song, and then he never played ever again because I just hogged the game.
I went to a show for an old band that I was in that I joined later, but Scott was originally in it, and I was selling merch. And then 2 members quit, and they said, hey, do you want to play bass in our band? I was like, I've never touched one in my life. They're like, it doesn't matter, it's bass. And, that's kind of where it started. Yep.
For me, I was actually in like junior high, and I used to go to a youth group, and there was like music obviously, and saw the guy playing guitar, and I was like, that looks really cool. I want to do that, and it all started there. And then metal just kind of was the first genre I got into, and that's how that happened.
It would be, what was it, Anti-Flag, no, it was Monine, Anti-Flag, Rise Against, and Billy Talent at whatever Scotiabank Theatre or Canadian Tire Centre or whatever it was called back in the day, Corel Centre maybe. Yeah, it changes, so.
So definitely back in the Corel Center days. I was in grade 7, and my first concert was Nickelback.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm trying to remember who was on the bill, but I know that Kingdoms played in Mavericks, and then I can't tell any other band. I know that Kingdoms was the band that I really wanted to see, and it was at Mavericks back in 2014, I think. No, that's 2012 probably.
My first one was a show that the band that I was selling merch for. Who were you opening for? You remember? What was me?
Might have been the What Was Me
It
show.
might have been the What Was Me show. Anyways, it was like the local show at Mavericks.
For me, so there's this thing called Taste of Chaos, like way back. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's, so that's the last thing I remember. And that was like Seosin, The Used, Census Fail. It was probably at Corel Center, like a big venue like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good old 88 Meadowlands, Ask a Punk, Leaky Bees, Lava Lounge isn't alive anymore, but it would be that one. Second runner-up, honestly. Like, as much as Cafe de Cuff is really awkward and, like, not always the best sounding, it's always a good time because it's tight and small. Even if there's not a big crowd, it always looks like there's a lot of people from on stage, especially behind the drum kit, so it works out.
Yeah, like past venues, I'm tempted to say Ritual because I really like playing there. We played some really cool shows there back in the day. But I'll always have a soft spot for Mavericks. That's the spot. So.
I had the chance to play at Capital City Music Hall, that's just beside the Salvation Army on George Street, and that was a super nice venue, and unfortunately it closed down quite some time ago. but always Mavericks is home to us.
Probably the coolest show we played in Ottawa would have been Ritual. Motionless and White show. That was pretty cool. It's not a band. Well, I've been open for them.
It's the old band.
Yeah, still played it. I mean, Mavericks is home. Always has been, always will be.
I really enjoy Babylon, and I'm happy that shows are happening there again. I don't know if this question was specific to just Horcrux or not, but in my past I played Babylon quite a few times with older bands, and I really enjoyed it and missed it, so I'm happy to be playing that again.
Awesome.
For me, my biggest influence was probably Era. Very short and simple. Yeah, Architects, Era, Invent, Animate. Those are probably Northlane. Yeah, that's my answer.
For me, I guess it would be like Slipknot was the first band that really got me into music. Period. God, I can't even tell you how many times I've listened to all their albums front to back. So, I mean, other than the fact that they wear masks, I would say that they're a big influence on me.
I have one. that's always recurring. Everything else just kind of changes, but Bring Me the Horizon has always been one of my biggest influences.
For me, just like Mikey, I've got kind of one main one, and then everything else kind of shifts around. Steve Vai's always been my number one favorite guitar player, and then right now I've really been into like Polaris and Currents. Both of those bands have dropped great albums this year.
So for the new stuff that we're writing, definitely Currents would be a big influence on it for drumming perspective. But like from my roots, it would probably be like My Chem and like Structures whenever I really started getting into a little bit faster stuff, and well, faster. Yeah, for influences. I think with music and playing live, it's definitely a good way to release a bunch of like pent up energy, and it just helps like exert everything that might make me feel like I've had kind of like past issues and stuff like that just like push them away and kind of just like make it like a clean slate over and over again with every show that we play.
Yeah, for me, I think that the role that mental health plays in playing music is, it's really good to, from a songwriting perspective, to just kind of like let things out. Like Zach said, when you're on stage, it's great to just kind of like let your energy out and kind of push things aside. But I think that anybody can use that idea in whatever they're passionate about, whatever it might be that you're going through. If you're doing something that you really love, you can kind of let those emotions out and channel them into something more positive. So definitely that's the stance that I take.
Very similar to what these two said. It's just music is just a place where you can just be yourself and do whatever you want. And mental health is really something that I always write lyrics about. It's really where I draw my stories from.
I think music is just like a universally accessible thing to anybody. Like anybody can play music, anybody can get it. It's not like sports or other things where you kind of have to be born with a little bit of talent and stuff like that. So I think, even with music genre, it's birds of a feather. People who go through similar experiences in life tend to like the same kind of music, and then you can relate to the people to the left of you at a show, to the right of you at a show. The lyrics and the songs, we're all kind of the same kind of people going through the same kind of shit. And, I think that once you realize that it's not just you going through something, there's other people who have either been through it or going through it, you can open up and, hopefully come out better on the other side of it.
Yeah, a lot of good things have been said. Agree with everything so far. For me, music is like really just a place, even if I'm at home and I want to like do a new cover, I want to like just anything, just sitting down and playing my guitar, or even I've been experimenting with vocals lately, just anything, just kind of, it's very cathartic. It's a nice release, and it really helps out with my mental health, definitely.
Okay, so the first time as Horcrux that we played in Toronto, I'm pretty sure, I think it was like one of our, like before like our 5th show for sure, maybe even our like 3rd show ever as a band. I mean, I was pretty nervous because I think it was the 2nd time I ever played in Toronto, you know, a big city. And we played our song Home, and I came in off on the click, and then the whole song kind of derailed. But we all like had our like musical instincts in check, and we all just like kind of improv through the song a little bit, and then wrote a completely different song by the end of it. And this is all live, and then we all stopped at the same time. Nobody noticed. It was fine. I don't think any of us remember that until probably now.
Yeah.
You know.
I forgot.
So like, yeah, exactly. So it's just like, I think that's the only time that's ever happened. Like, thank God. But like, you know, that's funny times.
The song was never like
Yeah.
released at that
No,
point, so
yeah.
no one had
No one
any
even heard it,
idea.
yeah.
Awesome, man.
That's a good one. I got a few, but I think one of my favorite times with Horcrux was when we played Guelph the first time. First of all, the show itself was phenomenal, but we arrived like super early, and I've got a video on my old phone of just like we're just like throwing a football around in the parking lot, and Zach's like sleeping on top of the van. It was just a great day. Like we just walked around the city, we hung out, we went to some music shops, and just like it was just a great time like hanging with friends, you know.
Zach got attacked by like a bridal.
Yeah.
Just got out of their limo and they're like,
Bachelorette
"Woo,
party.
dance with us, yeah!" The driver's like, "Oh, you can't be out with your liquor, get back in the car." And me and Zach were like, "We just want to go to the bank."
I think for me it would be the very first like Horcrux show that we've ever played. Like at that point we had only released one song, and it was released maybe a week before the entire show. And like when we played, it was the Mavericks was just packed and just so good. So many people that we haven't seen in so long came and supported us on our first show.
I think one off the top of my head was we were in Montreal, and we were playing, was it Piranha Bar? With Escape the Fate?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing Piranha Bar, and we've played Montreal a bunch of times, and turnouts are, you know, they're all right, but for some reason, the bar was like jam-packed that night. We were playing the same night as Escape the Fate, so we didn't really necessarily think it'd be that busy, but I think that was probably the most people we played to, at Piranha Bar at least. And then, because Mikey knew the guys in Escape the Fate, they actually came and saw our set, and then, you know, we played, and after that, we went and we got to see Papa Roach and all that just down the street, so that was pretty cool.
Cool. For me, I mean, I've only been on the road once. I know this isn't a touring specific question, but I've only been on the road once with these guys when we played Quebec City since I've joined, and that was like really fun. It was probably one of the bigger shows I think I've ever played. I don't know about you guys, but yeah. So everything went great. All the bands were like super friendly, super welcoming, super awesome, and it was just overall like a really fun time. So.
Structures in North Lane.
I would say Polaris and We Came as Romans.
I would say Sudden Waves and Feels Like Home.
Oh.
Nice.
Nice shirt. Do something. Bring Me the Horizon and Slipknot.
Oh, I'm just gonna have to go full fanboy here. Yeah, just Aaron North Lane, baby. That's it. Yeah.
Shout out to 13th Floor.
Nice. I'm gonna give a shout out to Double Experience.
Oh.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Old James.
Old James. Do they have to be from Ottawa?
Yes,
Local
it's
band, yeah.
Local.
Should I do it, so?
Oh, they're gonna hate me, but I'm gonna say Southpaw.
Oh.
Well, no one said it yet, and my band might kick me out, but I'm gonna say Salem Trials. Yeah. No, yeah. I was gonna say no. I've been like with me and Randy even before like I had met Zach.
any show like rock. I can't say I've been to any hip hop shows in Ottawa other than like the Adding Machine, but like any of the rock or metal shows, it's always just very like home-like. Everybody's pretty friendly. Especially like from the musician's standpoint of view, everybody's very welcoming and like most people know each other's names. I mean, it's always good to see people that you don't know at shows, but for the most part, whenever there's a big show, you could probably spot out like 50 people that you can strike up a random conversation with. It's always good.
Yeah, I agree with Zach. Like I've been in and around the local music scene for a long time now, like since like 2010, so a good like 10 years. And people come and go, but it doesn't matter. Like everyone is kind of the same mindset, and everyone's just friends. And it's great to just walk into a place like Mavericks or Babylon or whatever it may be, and just everyone's shit gets put aside, and you're just friends, and everyone's just hanging out having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep adding it, but it's it's a community where everyone's welcome.
I think like specifically like I've been kind of blessed to be starting in Ottawa because I remember playing outside of town probably for around the first times, and we didn't open right away, but openers in other towns will play and all their friends will come see them, but then the openers will leave and all their friends will leave, and I just remember blowing my mind. I was like, wait, what? People do that? Because in Ottawa, they come from the first band to the last band, and everybody stays and everybody watches the whole thing and supports everybody. So I think, people don't always think of Ottawa as like a good music scene, but I think the town's big enough that we have a solid foundation, but small enough that we're tight-knit group, close enough together that we can get along with anybody and kind of keep it moving forward.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to add. All really good points, and I agree with all of them. So I've been in it for about 10 years pretty actively, and it's just like going and playing a show is, it feels good. It feels like you're welcomed. It feels like everyone's having a good time, and it's just overall a good experience that I always enjoy.
I'd be good at playing drums.
What's your secret?
That's it.
Never miss a note.
Eliminate all the voice cracks.
Wow, I feel bad for saying this, but like telekinesis, because I can move shit with my mind and make myself fly. So it's like, I don't know, people always say they could fly, but if you can move shit with your brain, you can do more. Fuck guitar stuff.
I'm gonna go with superpower to be able to freeze time, because I think that'd be pretty sick.
Freeze time to play the right notes. Yeah, just go find a local show, find a local Facebook group, or I don't know if it's on Twitter or whatever, but like find your local scene in your hometown and go talk to people and meet people, even if they're older or they look scary. Just talk to people. That helps. Even the bar owners or whoever. Just go talk to Andy at Mavericks. He'll find you a show or something like that. It'll be okay.
Just to say something different than Zach, my initial one would be like just go out and do it, just start playing shows. But to build on that, don't skip on production value as much as you can.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that one. Oh, fuck, you stole my idea. I'm gonna keep it simple and play with the metronome.
Have fun before you start investing money into it, because if you just get into it and you start spending money on recording and all this stuff and you start playing, you're like, I fucking hate this, then you wasted all this money.
I'm gonna go with like practice, because no, like not that people don't. It's just like I think it's really it just builds, like if you like a song, learn a cover, like just honing that technique and learning your craft just in general before jumping the gun and just, hey guys, let's play a show, because like everyone's gonna be like, oh, it's their first show, whatever, but it's nice to have a nice solid performance, right? So practice is really key, I'd say.
actually are just putting kind of the finishing touches on our first full-length album, which is a great, milestone that a lot of us have been kind of working towards. We're not going to put any dates on anything yet. We're hoping to get something out, before the end of the year, so you'll be able to hear something, not all of it. But yeah, so we're just putting the finishing touches on that, and we're really, really excited about these songs that we put together. It's the first time that John's really been able to kind of collaborate on some songs with us, so adding his touch into things has really kind of elevated things up to a different level, and we're all really excited about it.